Hello, people of the internet. This is Cool Gamer 311, and introduce yourself.
And this is DJEZReviewsShaniqwa coming at you with a fire vid.
Yeah, y'all know how we do in the hizzy. Yeah, today I'm with my boy DJ Easy Review Shaniqua, and we are going to talk about Blink-182 and their sort of history and what they've done and whatnot. Talking about some of our opinions, some of the history. It's just gonna be a good time. It's gonna be chill. And
Uh,
yeah, DJ Easy Reviews. He's no although his channel is new, he is no YouTube noob. He has had much experience. But yeah.
I've ran multiple YouTube channels before.
Yep.
I've got it down, even channels related to this. Yeah, I've got it down.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about our first topic, which is the start.
Yep.
They started they had the demo.
Yep.
In '92, I
Yep.
believe.
Yep. Wasn't that
it was good.
Yeah.
I know.
Fly Swatter and
Fly Swatter, man, that was good.
Fly
And then
Swatter, Buddha, Short Bus.
I had an
good.
opportunity to buy Buddha at one
Really?
time, like the original cassette.
Yeah.
$300. I didn't have the money, but
Wow.
I had the opportunity to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is the era I kind of like of Blink-182. I definitely like the early stuff.
Yeah,
I definitely
early
like
demo
that
era,
more.
Yeah, for sure. I myself am, kind of into the, Enema of the State to their Untitled era. That's kind of my era, but I know you're definitely into the more, unpolished side of punk in general. You into the demo type stuff. So
Yeah.
which I can definitely get.
And then after came Cheshire Cat, wasn't it?
Cheshire Cat's the first studio album.
Yeah, my favorite song off that album. Man, there were a lot off that album.
Yeah,
I like Touchdown Boy, Strings,
Yeah, I like
and
Strings
then
a lot.
and so many more.
Sure.
Wasting Time.
Wasting Time.
Yeah.
Cacophony is one of my favorites off of that album. Benoit Balls. That is a pretty good one.
Well, there's so many good songs on that album.
Yeah, for sure.
This is why I like the early stuff.
Exactly, because it still had it. Like, it may not have the same. They definitely matured as they went on. Which, say what you will about that, whether that made them better or worse. But just looking back at this album, honestly, it is still pretty solid. In terms of, it was 41 minutes, which honestly, for most punk albums, that's relatively long, especially back in
90s, yeah.
Yeah, 90s unpolished days for punk artists, especially more at the time underground ones like Blink-182. To have an album that was more than half an hour was not super common.
Yeah. And then next came Dude Ranch, I believe. Then they had the remastered Buddha.
Yeah.
I don't know if that came after or before Dude Ranch, actually.
I think, I know they, yeah. I
don't think it really.
Yeah, either way.
It doesn't really matter.
In between the two, they came to Conquer Uranus, which did feature. One
of my favorite songs,
namely Waggy.
Waggy.
Yeah. Which made its real debut on Dude Ranch. Dude Ranch.
And Dude Ranch, I just got to talk about this one. I love this album.
Yeah.
I just love this album. It's got Waggy. I can name how good every song is. Every song from start to end is great.
Yeah.
I can't describe it any better.
Mhm.
That's why it's my favorite album.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, they have tons of great albums, and
Oh yeah.
you can't say. I don't think they had a failure album,
No,
honestly.
I don't think so. I mean, even like Neighborhoods, which is often like considered to be sort of a not that great one. Like I still even get down to
I
Neighborhoods.
still liked it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I can still get down to some Neighborhoods. Um, yeah, for
And then
sure. Well,
next came Enema of the State, and
well,
that's your album, so I think you
well.
should
I
tackle
mean,
that.
it's not exact. I mean, I did want to talk a bit more on Dude Ranch. It did.
Oh
It
yeah.
was the last album with Scott Rayner, who was kicked out of the band due to his alcoholism tendencies. For better or for worse, that happened. Made a
I
pretty
used
fire
to,
track on their 2000s live album, but we'll talk about that when we get there.
yeah, I mean
Um,
I liked him,
yeah,
but
Scott Rayner was a good.
you
Yeah,
cannot
no,
stop
exactly.
Travis Barker.
You cannot. Yeah, that's for sure. He definitely
I mean
like Scott
Travis
Rayner's good, but
Barker.
he's no Travis Barker. Yeah.
I mean Travis Barker, man. I like everything he's in.
Mhm.
I like the transplants, man. I
Yeah.
mean, kind of rap rock, I guess.
Mhm.
Not well. I don't know what genre it is. All I know, it's got two of my favorite musicians in it.
Yep. Yep.
It's got yeah, um, I just really like them. But let's get back to the Blink-182.
Yeah. And of course it did feature their mainstream breakthrough track, the expletive that we probably as Fred would say, gamut.
That's what I always call it,
Yeah,
man.
damn it. Yeah. Very solid track. Probably one of the first songs I learned how to play on guitar.
Oh, it was my first bass song I learned
Yeah,
because it's so basic. It's a
it is.
four-chord progression.
Yep. It's simple. It's fun to play, fun to learn, fun to sing.
Oh man,
It's good stuff.
we jammed out to that, man.
Yeah, we
That
did.
was Exit 220, baby.
Yeah,
But
Exit 220. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all there is to say on Dude Ranch. Solid. So I think we can move on now to the one, the only Enema of the State. First studio album featuring Travis Barker, and I guess the rest is history on him. But I think that he definitely pushed the band to where it needed to be. Like I don't think Blink-182 would be where it is without him.
Yeah, I mean especially the live shows.
Definitely.
If you've ever seen them live,
I've seen a few. Yeah.
I've seen the videos. I couldn't get tickets, sadly. Well, I could. Yet again, I could, but I didn't have the money.
Yeah.
It's a story of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I feel you, bro.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, solid album. Definitely, like their real, like solid mainstream breakthrough. I mean, like Gamut was like their like, hey, we're Blink-182,
California.
we're good. Yeah. And Enema of the State was like, we are like big now. Yeah. I mean, Dumpweed. That's track.
Oh
track
man,
is so killer. I mean, it's like.
But it's even better. It's even better on the Mark Tom Travis show.
Album. Yeah, which we will talk about next. But I mean, just it's. I mean,
man, I can't name a bad song off any of the albums we've talked about so far.
I mean, like I can on Cheshire Cat, I can name a few. On Dude Ranch, I can name like maybe one or two. I mean, not off the top of my head. I would have to like listen to it and be like, eh. But I mean, especially on Enema of the State, I can't. Like even Mutt, which is my least favorite on the album, I still can't like really hate on that song too hard. It's still solid.
What it's considered, it's pretty much considered pop punk perfection.
It is.
Many people have called it that. I'd call Dookie a little more influential.
I would say, I think
Enema of the State is better.
I would say that too, honestly, because Dookie, it came out in a time where alt rock was booming and was mainstream, and it really took pop punk, and it was probably the first real influential pop punk album, I would say. It really brought pop punk to the mainstream. in the 90s for sure.
Yeah, because you couldn't say that the Descendants really,
because that was 80s. Like and
they're
they
influential,
were 80s,
of
and
course.
they were very influential. I mean, Milo Goes to College is still. I mean, like.
Oh man, I love that album.
Yeah, I love Milo Goes to College too. Didn't they say? I want to look up a quote here because I feel like Fat Mike. He says that I'm pretty sure he said that was his like favorite album of all time.
It probably was.
Yeah, and yeah, he said he cited that as his favorite album of all time, and I know they were like I know I'm not sure if it was him, but I know I've read somewhere somebody was like, oh well, if this came out like when pop punk was super mainstream, even though it's more hard like melodic hardcore, Milo Goes to College, but whatever, like they would be living in mansions, like they would be super, yeah.
I still think it was a little too hard for the mainstream.
I do too. I think like they would have to polish it more, but I get where like they're coming from. Where like if it came out at the like, later, it would have been big. But anyway, we're talking about Blink-182, so we should probably actually talk about them. But
yeah.
Otherwise, like on Enema of the State, like yeah, very solid album, influential as well as necessary, 100% for like.
Oh, one thing before I forget, I just saw like a picture of old Blink-182 performing.
Okay.
Tom DeLonge had a Millencolin hat, bro.
For real.
Yeah.
That is something.
Well, just so everyone knows, that's one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, Millencolin. Yeah, same. I mean,
Penny Bridge Pioneers.
Penny Bridge Pioneers is amazing. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really think of a better pop punk album that came out that year at the top of my head. Especially since it was more alt rock influence, which I'm definitely into. But yeah.
Let's get back.
I guess.
To
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty much all we said on Enema of the State. I mean, Dumpweed's great. What's My Age Again is great. Adam's Song is great. All the Small Things is great. I mean, like the whole thing is great, but those ones really stand out, I would say.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then I'm wrong. I was gonna say Boxcar Racer.
No,
but that was 02.
That's after Toy Patch, yeah. Next though, yeah, Mark Tom and Travis show, The Enema Strikes Back.
Oh man.
Still remains the only live album that I have listened to and like have in my phone, just because you gotta have it for first Man Overboard, that's a great track, and also Dumpweed Live is incredible. If the studio version wasn't already killer, you have to listen to the live version. You have to. It's necessary.
It's probably my favorite live album, but then I heard They Suck Live is really good too.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't listened to I Heard They Suck Live yet. I know you've said it's really good. I'm honestly like No Effects, like I don't know, like some of their like lesser or popular tracks, those are the ones they like kind of play on those albums, and that's kind of why I have kind of avoided them, because I'm more into like their like bigger, more well-known tracks. But I guess that's just kind of me. Like No Effects is great and everything, but I don't know. I guess that's just kind of.
And then the next thing that came, it's not a Blink, but you got to kind of consider it because Travis and Tom were in it.
Well, are you going to Boxcar Racer? That wasn't out yet. Yeah. We still got to cover.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
though, Man Overboard. Just quickly, that's a good track. Talks about Scott Rayner and them kicking it out of the band. Yeah, definitely all the little like jokes and skits hidden at the end of the album too were pretty funny. They had some pretty good live tracks, family reunion, all that good stuff. Good live tracks in general, and yeah, I'd say that definitely held off the. It was a good filler between 1999 and 01 between their two popular albums. So yeah, I'd say we can move on. Next, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. 2001. Blink entered the new millennium, yeah.
Man, this album I remember very specifically because I love the name. The name of
Uh-huh.
the album just sold it for me, and
Yeah.
that's why I have all their albums practically. I
Yeah.
haven't bought California, but
Yeah.
you know,
You've
I,
listened to it,
I
yeah.
love the name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. I'd say honestly, and I didn't even like get what they were saying in the name until like a while. Like it took me way like months, honestly.
Oh, oh,
But
I got it right away.
and that's the
'Cause
thing, I didn't. Like I was just like I know actually one time I was at my church and we had like we do this like rummage sale type thing there, and there was actually a copy of that there.
really,
Yeah, before I even like really was into Blink-182, I knew the song The Rock Show because that was on Amplitude, which is like my favorite video game of all time. And I was actually considering picking it up, but some guy bought it, so that was kind of a bummer. But still, like literally, that was there, and it was just like, and that was still even before I like got it. But
I remember just throwing it back again.
yeah.
Remember when we went on that trip to Wisconsin Dells together? Man,
Mhm.
remember on the way there jamming out to that music, man?
Yeah, bro.
Live, the Mark, Tom, and Travis show, man.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
On the way back, that was great.
Yeah, that was great. Um, But yeah, anyway, yeah, back to Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. Honestly, what really sold this album for me is the opening track, Anthem Part 2. Just I know
Oh
I
man,
didn't have the live album yet, so when I was listening through their discography in order, I finished with Anthem on Enema of the State, and then going to this album and listen to Anthem Part 2, I was just really impressed because it was a lot more
part
polished
two is
sound.
much better.
And yeah, it is. It's less repetitive than its predecessor. I
I
feel
remember
it's
skateboarding to this song a lot.
cuz
Uh huh.
yeah, it's I mean it's definitely it's a very I would say in some ways it still kind of holds up today. I mean, I know punk
Oh yeah.
culture in terms of like pop punk being in the mainstream isn't huge and, the case nowadays, but I still feel it resonates, with a
Uh,
lot of teen punk culture nowadays, definitely.
hmm
It's a great track. It's got the message is definitely still relevant today. I would say, um, and overall it's a jamming track. I mean it picks off right where Enema of the State left off, and it even takes it farther, polishes it farther. For better or for worse, and yeah, and then online songs I also like. First Date is pretty good. The Rock Show was pretty much one of my first Blink-182 songs since, like I said, it was in Amplitude. I still like that track a lot. I like Stay Together for the Kids, and then all the bonus tracks. I really like What Went Wrong and yeah, What Went Wrong. That's probably my favorite of the bonus tracks. But yeah, overall,
oh,
really solid album.
what was can't remember what I was gonna say. Continue.
Um, yeah, overall, just really solid album. Honestly, in some ways, I would say it's even better than Enema of the State. Say what you will, but like it was definitely more polished, which I know most people don't like, but I prefer a more polished punk sound. And I would say, yeah, I mean it's got a lot of solid tracks. Uh, it's more, I would say, in some ways, it's got some of the not so well known tracks are better than the ones on Enema of the State, although it's not as consistent. Like a Reckless Abandon is great, I know. I like
Uh
Story of a
huh.
Lonely Guy a lot. Give Me One Good Reason is also pretty good. Yeah, it's just Roller Coaster is pretty good too. It's just got a lot of like uh, you know, good tracks. And then obviously the joke tracks kind of on the bonus tracks were also pretty good. Definitely, probably the most immature Blink moments, along with the skits on their live album. But yeah,
Uh huh.
definitely. I mean, I know that's Blink-182. It wouldn't be them in this era without their punk, sort of like teen attitude. So yeah,
Yeah, you know.
definitely, yeah. And
Uh
I
huh.
mean, this album in all in all was just I think their biggest representation of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Next.
yeah,
Uh.
next. Yeah, we got to cover it. Boxcar Racer. that
I
era.
love this.
I know you do,
This
yeah.
is post punk rock.
Yep.
Uh, Still kind of
Yeah.
pop punk.
It's
Uh,
got it's like
kind
pop punk plus it's sort of like post hardcore-ish plus some kind of pop punk plus alt rock. It's got a lot of stuff going on, and I agree, it is good.
yeah. I mean, I know this song. I know even a year ago,
Mhm.
I was really loving this album
Yeah.
completely,
Mhm.
and you know, I still listen to it every once in a while.
Yeah,
Uh,
I gotta admit, I do prefer Mark Hoppus's project plus 44, but I still definitely like this album, and I feel so. It's still a very good jam for me.
oh, I'm my favorite song on the album. Uh, I think it might be "Letters to God"
Letters to God is pretty good.
"Elevator" or
Yeah.
"Cat Like Thief"
Oh yeah, I know you
too.
like that track. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's
This album was
got
definitely good. Yeah.
it's got Tim Armstrong, and
Mhm.
that's like, I mean, he was in Rancid, of course, Transplants.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
he's one of those guys I really admire
For
because
sure.
he Rancid was also kind of mainstream
Yeah, sort of.
punk.
And they were
Uh,
kind of more of a ska punk spin, definitely too.
yeah, I mean that's debatable.
I
People
mean,
consider it, but it's
yeah.
really
I
because
mean,
they don't really listen very in depth.
that's
Uh,
I'll give you that one. Yeah. I mean, and I don't really listen to
'Cause-
Ransom that much. I prefer Less Than Jake, Operation Ivy, etc. Um, but yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, it's the history of this album is interesting too because he Tom was had back surgery. He was kind of he
emo.
yeah emo. He was coming up with ideas that he felt were too dark for Blink-182 basically, and he did this project. And Mark Hoppus felt kind of betrayed, and you know ultimately these darker thought topics would still kind of spill over into their next album, but
Which
it's
we will go to now,
yeah,
actually.
we should really
Yeah.
move on to
This
that.
is something you should discuss. You
Yeah,
really love this album.
this is bringing us to my favorite Blink-182 album, their Untitled 2003 Fit Studio album. Yeah, this is my favorite Blink-182 album. I may get some hate for that, and honestly, so be it. Um, I just really enjoy this album, and the sound was definitely their most mature, but it didn't lose any punch. I feel Neighborhoods was their most mature, but I felt it lost kind of its punch. I don't think that was the case for their Untitled, and it uh, in terms of just what was on it, I know you're not a huge fan of it, but feeling this, I still feel holds up as like that's like top high tier level Blink-182 for me.
That is my least favorite song by them.
Yeah, and I
Uh
know you feel that way, but
I mean, I still like it, of
mhm.
course.
It
I
just
think
like
it's all right.
there's
It's
other
just,
tracks you prefer.
well, there's so like all their other stuff I'd prefer,
Mhm.
but even California. I mean, I used to not like it, but
Mhm.
kind
Yeah.
of switched. But let's
Exactly.
continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how this album it sort of kind of worked as a concept album, sort of. Um it was definitely more experimental, and that's the thing. It was experimental, but it still didn't lose any punch. It still maintained that pop punk, punch that Blink had, and it was still mature, and it was still, I mean, lyrically, in my opinion, it was superior. Instrumentally, it was really good. Overall, just a really great album, in my opinion. And honestly, I feel it's the last of really, really well done Blink-182. It's honestly kind of the end of an era because after this they did go on hiatus until 2011 when they would release I mean like 2009, and then they recorded Neighborhoods in 2011. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. Overall,
Hmm.
I really enjoy this album a lot, and uh, you know, yeah, It may not have been
Yeah.
as influential as Enema of the State, but it still remains my favorite. I guess that's kind of
Um,
all I have to say.
yeah. Then we won't go over Angels and Airwaves.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of
I
a bigger topic, and honestly, really don't know much about them. In all
I
honesty,
like it. I like it because space rock sounds awesome.
true.
In fact, I love playing space rock.
Yep.
Uh, it's just something I really like. I don't know why,
Yeah,
but
yeah. I
that's
feel
like the
you.
only thing I can play on guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of new metal. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
I get it. I get it. Should we cover plus 44 quickly? I mean, we did cover
yeah,
Boxcar Racer. So, kind of as almost kind of a response to Boxcar Racer, Mark Hoppus and Travis Barker formed their own group with Shane Gallagher and Craig Fairbow. I hope I probably didn't pronounce that correctly, but oh well. They formed their own little pop punk outfit titled Plus 44. It's sort of honestly really it's like lyrically and maturity level wise, it's similar in a lot of ways to Boxcar Racer. It's definitely lyrically some of the most mature and darkest stuff that Blink, like what remained of Blink at the time, has put out. But still, I would say the best. I mean, like in some ways, like Lycanthrope, Baby Come On, When Your Heart Stops Beating, Little Death. It had like that. Those first four tracks are really good in my opinion, and the rest of the album is obviously really good too. But I really like Plus 44. I do prefer it to Boxcar Racer, and honestly, I prefer it probably to anything Blink has done post 2000, post their Untitled. I mean, like, not that it was bad what they did after, but I just definitely like When Your Heart Stops Beating a lot. And I wish Plus 44 would have made that second studio album. I would be really interested in seeing what they put out. But oh well, I guess I really do think this is an underrated pop punk album in general. I feel it's not talked about enough, and